Hello, members of the Federation. Today, for Matrix Live, I have three heroes of the Federation trying to resist the silos. I'm with Krila. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. I'm with Saru. Both are from FluffyChat. And I am with Henri Carnot, who is doing MinesTRIX, a social network client. So the main topics we are going to cover today are the V1 release of FluffyChat, which is an exciting release with a revamped UI. I'm excited to see we are going to show because Krille and Soru have prepared a demo for us. And Henri is going to show us how MinesTRIX looks in practice. So a social network based on Matrix. It's exciting. Early days, but it's exciting. And Little Birds told me that they are going to work together on something eventually. So we are going to talk about that later in the end of the episode. So Krille and Soru, some people might not know what FluffyChat is. How would you describe it?
Well, FluffyChat is an app. It's a messenger app that should be easy to use, but which should also be secure, open source, and decentralized, and it uses the Matrix protocol. So FluffyChat is a Matrix client, but it tries to be as easy to use as possible, so it is accessible for everyone.
All right. So you say everyone. The Matrix protocol is very flexible. So if you have products like Slack, you know who it is for. It's like for teams or enterprises. Then you have Telegrams, which is more for individuals. So Matrix can be both for large companies, large groups, or for individuals for people who would like to have a sort of WhatsApp equivalent. Who would you say FluffyChat is for?
Yes. So FluffyChat is more for example, Telegram or WhatsApp or Signal users, because we already have the great client element in the Matrix, which has a very nice UI, which is a little bit similar to Discord or Element. I think clients like Telegram, Signal, or WhatsApp have a little bit a different UI as well. So my purpose was just to start a client which then serves these users, so we have both in the Matrix world.
All right, so really simple to use for everyday people, for one-to-one conversation and small groups.
Yeah, that's at least I hope we reach it.
All right, I could see very fancy and gorgeous screenshots of the revamped UI of FluffyChat, but unfortunately for me, I live in France and I have an iPhone, so I could not try it because we have some weird laws on encryption. Is it possible to see how it looks like in practice?
Sure. So should I start to share my screen here? And you see?
Yep.
All right. Okay then. So what we see here is my Ubuntu desktop, and we see FluffyChat as a native Linux app. So the thing is, FluffyChat is made in Flutter, which is a framework based on the programming language Dart, which can compile to native machine code on nearly all platforms or all major platforms. So the thing is, it is the same app like on Android and iOS, but it's still native. It is not a web app. And it is responsive. As you can see, you can just make the window smaller, and that is what we will have on Android. And
multi-account, is it what I'm thinking it is?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's multi-account.
That's
lovely.
So this is my private account. I was not going to show it. That's why I have used one of my test accounts. I have a lot of them on my own server. Just you need them for developing. And here you have the multi-account switcher. You can add more accounts easily in the settings. Just go to settings and then to account and then to add account. Sorry, it is in German currently, because to change it to English I would need to restart my session, but I hope it's okay so. So, and this is the new UI you can see here. You can just say, hi folks, and then you see a little animation here to see that this is currently a sending message, and now it is sent and received for the other ones. And yeah, that's mostly it. We have a nice spaces switcher at the bottom now. So here, this, for example, the FluffyChat space. There's currently only the FluffyChat group. And we have a nice animation here to go back and forth and back to all chats. And the workflow to start a new chat is, I've tried to make it as simple as possible. So I thought maybe matrix IDs could be complicated for most of the users. So I thought the simplest would be to just show a QR code, which just contains a matrix.to invite link. And also, if you got some link, but for some reasons you can't just open it in your app, because, for example, on the Linux platform, you have not yet implemented that you can open links with it. You can always enter a link manually. Yeah, you can just enter a link and start a new chat if you like.
All right, so
of course,
carry on.
And yeah, we have a lot of stuff we can do here. We can send files, we can send stickers. That's a sticker a friend of mine has drawn. And we have a lot of other basic features common messengers have. And yeah, we are fully responsive. Make the window of that great and have a 3-column layout if you like. Yeah, that's mostly it. That's what we've built.
All right, so it's really impressive. You have a responsive app which is supporting all the Matrix instant messaging features. You can send stickers. You support spaces. What was the redesign about? So I think you moved the spacebar to the bottom of the client, right?
Yes. Previously, we had them in the drawer in the top left menu, and we had the multi-account feature at the bottom. I just thought maybe it's easier to switch them, because mostly you can change your account, of course, but this now needs 2 clicks, and having the spaces in the bottom only needs 1 click. And I guess you're switching the space more often than you are switching your account here. Also, we have a cool feature which you did, so something like account bundles. So you can sort your account. For example, we have a work account and a private account. And then you have sorted your accounts, and this is easier to display in this pop-up menu here.
Yeah. It's basically some kind of additional sorting for accounts, and if you are within a bundle, you can also quicker send, if you are with multiple accounts in the same room and those accounts are in the same bundle, you can quicker send messages from different accounts in the room.
All right. Yeah. Really cool. Really cool. All right, so impressive demo. I really like FluffyChat, and I can't wait to be able to use it on my iPhone eventually. In the meantime, I still have questions like, is FluffyChat sponsored? Because it looks really polished and professional already. So are you doing that on your spare time, or is the company sponsoring FluffyChat?
FluffyChat is actually developed in our free time. However, we take a lot of use of the Family SDK, which is the Matrix SDK that, well, Krille and Zoru also develop at work. So a lot of the core features we like. As many core features as we can, we try to implement inside of the SDK, and that is then, of course, work and not free time. And then FluffyChat is basically a thin GUI layer above the SDK that we develop for work. And that GUI layer, which is FluffyChat, is done in our free time. But all the heavy lifting, like end-to-end encryption and the like, that is actual family work.
Right, so thank you, Family, for supporting a a fraction of FluffyChat, and thank you all for taking on your free time to develop that thin layer on top of the SDK to show that it works.
The thin layer can also get quite big in some cases, but like it's the UI, it's all the GUI stuff, which is FluffyChat, and then the backend stuff is all Family, basically.
All right, so you are not particularly looking for new sponsors?
No.
All right. And you nearly answered my next question, which was, is FluffyChat built on top of components sponsored by a company? And the answer is yes, because it's sponsored by Family, and it's the Flutter SDK. I heard about something. Yeah.
You just said Flutter SDK, but it's called Family SDK, and it's actually just in pure Dart. The SDK itself does not have any Flutter code at all in it. It's just in Dart.
It's like Matrix Dart SDK or Dart Matrix SDK. The former name.
Oh, right. Okay. Right, we changed it recently, so it's actually now Matrix Dart SDK.
Right.
But yeah, it's basically Flutter is the GUI framework for Dart, and Dart is the programming language. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Okay, makes sense. And I've heard about a thing called FluffyBox. Is it something you can talk about?
Yes. So mostly Flutter is. We had some problems with the database backend in our app and with database solutions inside of Flutter anyway. And the biggest problem was on the web platform. So it's not easy to create a database which works on all platforms and on the web, because on the web, of course, if you want performance, you need to use IndexedDB. And we've used a package named Hive, which is great, but it had not a very good performance on web because the IndexedDB implementation of this package wasn't that good. So we have thought a lot of it, and we have then created a new package, which is a wrapper around Hive and IndexedDB native, which now seems to be the best solution to fix this. Also, it looks like that we are going to fork Hive at all in the future. And I've asked around in the company if someone knows a good name for this package, and if no one says an I will just take something which has Fluffy in the name. No one came up with another name, so I thought, okay, let's name it FluffyBox, and okay.
All right. So that FluffyBox component is something that made me invite Henri, who worked on MinesTRIX. And because Henry had stumbled upon it while it was still a very early release. So Henri, thanks for accepting my invite on such a short notice. You recently unveiled MinesTRIX, which is a social network based on Matrix. Can you tell us more about it?
So basically, MinesTRIX is a proof of concept to showcase the fact that we can build social media based on Matrix. So in fact, we had previously Cerulean, I don't know how it's pronounced, but which has shown that it was possible. And so based on this, I decided to continue this concept with MinesTRIX. And so the goal is to build social media, which will be privacy focused. So in order to protect the privacy of our users. So all the details of post filtering and is done on the client and not on a remote server. And on top of that, thanks to Matrix, we can end-to-end encrypt the post, and so only your friend can read and read your post. So that's the first thing. And the other thing that I wanted to build a client and to make it as simple as possible.
All right, and can we see it?
Yeah, sure. So here we have the home page. So it's built with the same technology as FluffyChat, so Flutter, and based on the Family SDK. So thanks Family, and thanks Pierre for your work. So that's the homepage with your wall. All your posts, or at least your friend posts, which are sorted basically only by date. But in the next or future date, I want to let the user change the sorting algorithm. So here we have some posts, like it's only me talking for instance, but maybe the next time when people will start using it, I would say other people. So this is the main account, but we have also private role. So this is my account, and now we can see our friends and also all the posts with of this person. And so on the link, we can have support for groups also. So you can like here, we can build groups and add user to groups. So we have the base of a social media which are in place. So that's starting to work. And also we have MinesTRIX chat.
Really cool. So the main motivation behind MinesTRIX was to have a way to interact with people that is not just instant messaging, but which is still privacy preserving.
Yeah.
Are you doing it alone? Are you the only developer on MinesTRIX?
Currently, yes.
Right, and that FluffyBox we were talking about earlier, we had an interesting conversation in this week in Matrix Room because you posted about MinesTRIX, and some people from family tried to browse the code and they were surprised, like, how is FluffyBox there already? Like, we released it a week ago. How did you stumble upon it?
Actually, I was just looking at update on the MinesTRIX SDK, and I stumbled across Fieldwork, which was working on building an alternatives to the previous database, and he was on a branch called Sembast, and I wanted to try it because on my client, or at least when I was developing it, it was too slow at startup, and so I wondered if this could help speeding the startup, and in fact it did.
I was told a new exciting feature was coming to both FluffyChat and MinesTRIX. What is it?
You want to talk about it first?
Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, it's a feature I was thinking about since 1 year or more. I would like to have something like stories in FluffyChat. Maybe you know the WhatsApp status feature, or you know Instagram stories or Snapchat. And I would like to have something like this in FluffyChat as well. It's a little bit less about chatting and more about social media. And, yeah, and then Henry and I came in contact, so we talked about it. You said you would like to have this as well in your client. And yeah, since then, it's just a couple of days ago, we are thinking about maybe we can write an MSC together, think about how we can do this together so the stories would be compatible in both clients.
All right, so you're planning to work on a MSC to make sure that all the clients can implement the stories in a consistent and interoperable way. So it's not limited to just FluffyChat and MinesTRIX, but to anyone who wants to implement that in their own client.
Yes, exactly.
Is it going to be an extra room, a separate room, a new kind of event? How is it going? How are you going to implement that?
For the stories, we thought about it would be nice if they are end-to-end encrypted, because stories are mostly little messages or status updates you want to share with some of your friends, but not with the whole world. And with the whole world to share something, I think profiles of room would be great, to have public rooms everyone can join, everyone can follow you, a little bit like Mastodon or Twitter. And for stories, it's more like a little bit private. I want to share something with only my friends, maybe 20 or 50 people, my family, and this should be end-to-end encrypted. So this should be in another room, not in the profiles of the rooms room. So we would create a new room for it, give it a specific type, make the room read-only for everyone else. So only the user is admin in this room and has the permission to post something. then it's mostly a thing of the UI, that the UI then defines a contact list. We don't have a contact list in Matrix, but we could, for example, take the list of all people which we share a DM room with, and then invite these people to the room. This should not be done automatically, so the user should see a list to pick the context he wants to see. He wants to make see their status or stories, so the user has some full control who can receive the story posts, and always should be able to remove people from the room or invite new people. And yeah, the only thing that's left is in most cases stories have limited lifetime, like always 24 hours. That's a little bit tricky at the moment. So we don't have self-destructive messages yet in Matrix. I think we will have in the future. There are MSCs for it. Until we have it, we need to solve it just client-side. Just make sure that from time to time we look if there are old messages which are older than 24 hours and redact them. And on the other side, we should just not display messages which are older. This is not a guarantee that this always works, but this is not a security-related feature anyway, because it's more like a message which is older than 24 hours is no longer relevant, but not a security breach. I mean, you can take a screenshot anyway if you like.
Right. Anybody who wants to have a final word to conclude the episode? We said everything.
I think so.
Seems so.
All right. In that case, I see you around. I'm very excited to see the progress made both on Fluffy and MinesTRIX. I'm excited to see where the projects are going to. And I hope we are going to see a merged MSC soon from your joint work. Thanks a lot for your time, and thanks a lot for all your work on this fascinating project. And Federation and friends, I'm going to see you next week.